Hello and welcome to Grey Hat Beard Princess, the modern workplace podcast where we talk about all things Microsoft 365. I'm the Grey of Grey Hat Beard. My name's Kevin McDonnell. I'm the Head of Practice for Modern Workplace at CPS and Office Apps and Services MVP.
And you might not recognise me because I don't actually have a hat on, probably for the first time since we've ever done this podcast. But I'm Al Erdley. I'm a technical architect at the Microsoft Technology Centre, and I am actually the Hat of Grey Hat Beard Princess.
Unfortunately, our Beard and Princess can't be with us at the moment, so it is just the two of us. You may notice we're somewhere else, and we're actually together.
I know.
This is quite exciting
great,
on there. So we are up in Glasgow for the Scottish Summit here, the big community event. We've been speaking, we've been chatting to a lot of people, attending ones, occasionally a bit of drinking, but the less said about that, the better. And we were lucky enough to get a room to do a recording, so we thought we'd grab as many great community people as we could out there. And like we did with the Scottish Summit, we did their fantasy festivals.
We did, that was South Coast.
South Coast Summit. Oh, I keep getting this wrong. On that one,
yeah, we did the fantasy festivals, and that was quite good, wasn't it? We got some really good ideas for that.
Yeah, and so we had a few drinks last night and tried to work out what we do, and we came up with the idea of a fancy dinner party. So what we've got is a few people are going to be cutting this afterwards, and we had some nice chats with people, didn't we?
Yeah, and we had some interesting conversations, and we came up with some quite unique rules, which, as you'll hear, pretty much nobody stuck to. Everybody broke the rules, really.
Absolutely.
Do you want to explain the rules, Kev?
So the rules are, for the fancy dinner party, you need to have one person from Microsoft, one person from the community, and one other person. So it could be living, dead, fictional, just someone else on there. And then we had a bit of a chat about, what sort of food, how would it go on, and stuff like that. And we kind of give them a bit of flexibility. Probably shouldn't have done, because it meant they broke the rest of the rules.
They broke every single rule was broken at least once.
Yeah. So we are recording this at GoPro. We really hope the sound works. Please do bear with us and listen to it. We'll do what we can to tidy up, but because the sessions were fantastic, so well worth listening to on there. Thank you very much for all the people who joined in. Let's get into it, I think.
Indeed.
Fantastic. Say this one.
Okay.
Right, Luke, would you like to say hello?
Hey everyone, how we doing? I'm pleased to be here today with my boys, Al and Kev. As ever, I spoke to them last time at South Coast Summit. I'm excited here to be at Scottish Summit with them today. Thanks for having me. Luke Evans, Solutions Architect. We'll keep it brief. I don't know, about 16 years in Microsoft technology, 6 at Microsoft, and since then consultant/architect.
This really is brief.
Yeah.
This
is brief.
Well, I haven't brought the slide deck of myself, so we'll try to keep it brief. I appreciate that, we haven't got we're not wired up for that, are we?
No slides with that.
No, we're much more ad hoc than that.
Well, I feel like you might have done it on purpose, knowing that I was coming up, you might have just shut it all off.
Exactly.
Well,
so your fantasy dinner.
Okay, all right. Well, what are the T's and C's been laid out, or do you want to lay them out?
So we've laid out the T's and C's. So
All right.
Start with your person from Microsoft.
Well, you know what? I do want to go. I think I might be cheating, but I think I'd say Billy G. Is that allowed? Is that within the realm?
It's not quite Microsoft anymore.
But you've got to go with the founder, haven't you? You've got to go.
So alumni are in then. Fair enough.
Yeah, the terms may be changing as we go.
Well, I think we go with Bill Gates. That's the first nomination. I know I'm not playing within the rules, but you can always edit me to be last, so I look like a bit of a rogue candidate.
We know with Grey Hat Beard Princess, rules are there to be broken. So that's fine. So your community member then?
Oh gosh, well let's come back to that one because I'm not entirely sure who I'm going to go with at this point. But I think I've got a good one for the next one. Is the one.
Okay. So the other one is your someone else living dead.
I think I've got it. Turing is the one. It's got to be.
Oh, okay.
What do you think?
Nice.
Bill Gates and Alan Turing.
I think it's going to be awesome, isn't it? He hasn't lived to see. I was thinking about this. We spoke on this. We spoke on this previously. A quick discussion around it. I was thinking all night. Who's it going to be? What's the winner? I think that's going to be it. I think it's going to be Turing because you got the whole Turing test. I think that's an interesting one. I was speculating on who it should be, but I think that's the winner.
Okay, cool.
So would you have particular food or anything like that?
Well, let's
a bit of pizza?
So we still need the community.
Yes. Gosh.
You're not escaping without that.
I'm quite egotistical, so could I nominate myself?
So we're kind of assuming you would be there anyway. So you're cloning yourself.
Yeah.
So there would be two Lukes in one room.
I don't know whether any dinner party is capable of succeeding with two Lukes in one room.
Well, you know what? I think if that's the case, I'm also going to bring some extra toys. So you know who I'm going to go for?
Huntingford.
No. We'll go with the female variety of loud, is what we'll say. My long-time colleague and friend, we'll go with Zoe, is the one. Because if I'm already there, you know, we'll bring.
She's bound to be there.
Well, can you imagine the energy? The noise is going to be furious.
I can imagine that. yes, I have seen your party.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, my ears are still ringing from last night. So,
I think, and then okay, so let's go with the. I think. Oh, here we go. I think that would be the lineup. I think that's what we're going to go with. We're going to go, obviously, myself, naturally. Otherwise, why am I arranging this party?
You're definitely there.
And then 2, we'll have Zoe for the community. We'll go with Bill Gates, because I think that would be an interesting one. I know he's not strictly Microsoft, but we'll tag him in, and we'll go with Turing as well. I think that's the lineup. I'm pretty happy. Let's talk about the dinner. So what would I make? Am I making it, or can I order it in?
Up to you.
Oh, sorry. That was
we will bleep after.
We'll bleep that one.
That was a tough one though, because I just thought, originally I thought we're just going to cook some Mexican food, because if I'm ordering food, I'm going to go Mexican as top tier, that's S tier, so I figured we'll go with that,
I think Alan Turing and Mexican, that would be interesting. I like that. Yeah.
Well, he's going to learn a lot about computers in this day and age. We might as well help, teach him about kind of Mexican food as well. Why not?
Nice. You came for the technology, you left with the food.
I was thinking, then I started thinking, if I could go anywhere, maybe we go to a fancy steakhouse. Well, it's not really much of a dinner party at that point, is it? If I'm taking them to where I want
them. We can go with that, yeah. You've broken the rules already, so.
In for a penny, in for a pound.
Exactly.
So no, I will stick to the rules. We would probably get Mexican food. I don't think I would make it in this scenario. I'm probably going to order it in. I'll get some.
We know Zoe's got Deliveroo on the speed dial.
So you can then just claim to Alan Turing that you've made it all, because food delivery wasn't around.
Well, there you go. We're learning more by the moment, is what I would say. So I think that's the lineup. That's the food. Mexican food of some description. I think. Well, if we want to break it down, starters, we're going to have chips and dip. Yeah, I think we'll go with burritos or enchiladas for the main, and then dessert. Oh gosh, it's got to be churros, isn't it? That's
oily like this.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
shots of tequila all the way through.
Well, I don't think you should mention that one for Zoe, because I know she has quite a history with tequila. So, but. Yeah, that I think would be the lineup. That's the meal. I think my main point, or the main part of excitement, is probably Turing seeing in this day and age what it all comes to be. What does the future look like?
You'd have to order it all through Alexa, wouldn't you?
Well,
I think you're going to write them off and go back to the past.
I have great privacy concerns with that technology, but maybe for this meal,
just for the meal,
just to blow people's mind. I think you're right. We'll deliver it. We'll get it on the Alexa. We'll get it delivered to the door. We can follow the driver.
Cortana.
Did someone say Bing? I forget your Microsoft now, so
I know why the search engines exist.
I did my time. I know what it's like. When people go, let's just Bing it, and I just thought, my goodness.
They don't say that unless they're forcing themselves to.
That was cool. That was lovely. Thank you very much.
Well, you know what? Thanks as ever, guys, for having me. It's always appreciated. And yeah, lovely. I hope my dinner party scores well in the grand scheme of things. I hope I set the bar.
We're not scoring.
We're not scoring.
We're not holding.
That would be too hard.
Unless people in the audience want to hold their fingers up and that kind of thing. Yeah.
I like that. A solid yes. Fist pumping. Yes. All right, wonderful. Well, thanks for having me again.
Thank you, sir.
Lovely, and thanks for allowing me to cut in. So apologies for you guys. Thank you. I'm going to get back to man my stand.
So our next guest, we have Carmen. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, I'm Carmen. I'm a Power Platform architect based in Belgium and a Microsoft Business Applications MVP.
Fantastic. So we're going through.
You have some fans in your
So we're going through your fancy dinner party, your person from Microsoft.
Yes, so I chose 3 powerful women. So the first one will be Donna Sarkar, because I'm a big fan. I love how she combines working at Microsoft with a passion for accessibility and the Power Platform with her Prima Donna brand. total fan.
She will bring a lot of styles. Sorry,
Yes.
a lot more styles to the party.
Yes, she will.
Yeah.
She will.
Okay, and your community member then?
My community member will be Louisa, the princess, because she's a friend, and it's always good to have a friend at a dinner
That would
party.
be a lovely
Yep.
combination. And your other?
My other is going to be Taylor Swift. I'm a Swiftie.
Oh, wow.
Yes, if the viewers and the listeners don't know her, she's an American singer, and she's great. Yes, look her up.
That's a good combination. Yeah.
I think so.
Do you think Taylor would have lots to talk to Donna and Louise about?
I'm sure she would.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't see tech
Would you get
coming
a word
into
in?
many of the conversations there. I think that would just be.
No, I don't think
just
it
be
would be a lot
fantastic.
about
Just,
tech.
yeah,
No, it would be
conversations
more about
everything else.
fighting.
Shoes, yeah.
Shoes maybe, but also about fighting the patriarchy. I think
Yeah.
that would be a common conversation.
I was going to say if things went quiet, then she could sing a song, but I don't think it would go very
I
far.
doubt it
That's
would
all
go
it would
quiet.
be.
That should go quiet. No.
And what have you thought about what sort of thing you'd eat, or would you go somewhere, or?
There is definitely going to be ice cream. So
Nice.
dessert is fixed, and then maybe.
I like the idea of it's just ice
just
cream.
Oh, so that should be fine as well. Fine by me as well.
Some chicken on it.
Oh, chicken on ice cream was what was suggested there.
Oh.
And probably pizza. Low-key,
Pizza.
I can't
Keep it
cook, so
simple.
it has to be something that I can order in and that's easy. So yeah, pizza, I think. Pizza and ice cream.
That is fantastic.
Good combination.
Yeah.
Good combination
I
there.
think so.
I was going to say, I'd love to be there, but I think I would be slightly out of my depth in but, sorry, I agree with you, but no, that is fantastic.
I think we would make room for anyone. Yeah, open to.
Very true. No, I think that would be a really interesting dinner on there. Well, thank you very much, Carl.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Thank
Thank you.
So we have our next guest. Laura, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Laura GB. I work for HSO as a solution specialist. I have a BizApps MVP, but I do mostly data stuff. So I do mostly Power BI.
Don't tell them.
Yeah, that's the plan. Don't tell anybody. I mostly do sessions on Power BI, and I'm really good at breaking the internet.
We can
It's
all
my
vouch for
skill.
that. We can
It's
all
my
vouch for
skill.
that. Yeah, never try and use the internet
did-
when Laura's doing a demo.
I did think about putting it down as a contribution.
So, your fancy dinner party. Your person from Microsoft. And you can go around in different order. if you want, but-
So my person from Microsoft is going to be Matthew Roche. He's, if you don't know him, he's in the Power BI Cat team. And what he's known for is behind him on the wall are swords. There are always swords.
Wow.
And he does fighting with swords. It's great.
So would he bring a sword along to the dinner party? Do
I
that?
hope so.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I hope he brings two.
Two. I see the after dinner activity here is sword fighting.
So my
Carving the meat.
Carving the meat.
so my fictional character
Yeah.
is going to be Darth Vader.
Lord Vader.
Okay.
Right.
So that they can compare fighting styles.
Is he going to be bringing his lightsaber along?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, two, I hope.
Or two. Okay.
So that they can compare it, and that's part of the dinner party. Who wanted to talk tech? I mean,
No,
come on.
absolutely.
Now,
I'm intrigued. And your community member?
see, this is where I've been struggling.
Okay.
Okay, so I was going with who in the community would be up for picking up a sword and joining in.
I think. But there you go. You got one.
So my thing is, okay, and you said we can have as many as we like. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm going
Okay.
with. This is my breaking the rules.
Yep.
So the first one to go for, okay, I thought, well, we have to put some balance in there. Is to put who in the community actually knows how to handle a sword. So it has to be Ash GB. Because actually they vaguely know how to handle a sword.
Oh, really?
And I'm now being scowled at, which is
You
the
are
most
being-
I
you are
can't
being-
see. Okay, the other person who I think would, this, I actually came up with this without her putting her hand up, and that was Alison Mulligan. If anybody's going to carry a sword, it's going to be Alison. But then I thought, who actually, if they hear there's going to be sword fighting and they're going to be a bit upset if they weren't invited and not included, who else but Chris Huntingford?
I thought that might be coming up.
Let's be honest.
Yeah. If you just put a call out to the community going, dinner party, bring your own sword, I think you'd probably get quite a lot of people quite interested.
I think so. I think you get lots of submissions at least. Now, when it comes to food, a bit of a problem because Matthew Roche is a real food. He's really good at this thing. I did virtually during lockdown. We made chocolate-covered caramelised orange peel, and it was amazing.
Wow.
And him and I met up on a Teams meeting with a few other people, and we did it together. It was great. So I would really struggle. So I think I would find a chef and go, do something clever.
Do something clever that's going to suit
Darth
Vader and
Matthew Roche.
Yeah, and everybody else can just go with that.
And you've got to include some vegetarian options and some gluten-free options because, hey, who knows what Darth Vader can eat?
Well, chili soup is the only thing you can have with a little straw on the front. Otherwise, you don't eat much. Or does he have a little compartment? I don't know. I've never thought how Darth Vader eats. This has blown my mind slightly. Actually.
These important things.
Yes.
Do they ever go to the toilet on Star Wars? No. They obviously don't eat either. Then
It's true.
it's quite simple.
Wow. And on that bombshell.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Laura.
Anytime.
So we have our next guest. Alex, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey, Alex Chandiwana, solution designer within the automotive industry. I'm also a freelance. I'm also a Microsoft Business Apps MVP based in Essex, England. And happy to be here.
Fantastic. So we have your fancy dinner party. Would you want to start with someone from Microsoft?
Yeah.
Who do you go for?
Lots of amazing people at Microsoft. If I can invite the whole company, that would be awesome, right?
That would be a big dinner party.
As long as you're not paying, that would be good.
Yeah. Let's go for Adam Jackson.
Nice. That would be a good call. Yeah. So for those who don't know, can you say who Adam is?
Yeah, Adam is the lead developer community lead in the UK. So for me, where I focus on the community a lot, we do a lot of collaboration, and Adam is just an amazing human.
Absolutely agree. If anyone's been at events in the UK, I'm sure they've seen Adam around at the Reactor and things like that. I think he likes his food as well. I know he definitely likes his travels. So
the food as well, definitely.
He'd have plenty of stories to tell on that. So that's a nice one. So community.
Yes, again. It's a big one, right? Because everyone here is amazing already. So for community, I'll go for Chris Huntingford. And I'm going to tell you why, right? I think that will make the party amazing. So Chris Huntingford, he's going to bring, I think, the amazing energy. You people got great energy, by the way. Not you're okay, but Chris does.
I don't think any of us.
Well, you mean Chris will just sit in the corner quietly, just eating his food, just.
You just give everyone energy, right?
It would certainly get a dinner party going. And then your other person.
Yeah, the other person, I'll go for Tricia Sinclair.
Nice. Trish and Chris together with Adam.
Yeah.
And I like you've gone for actually one that could happen as well, which I think that
You'll have to let us know how that goes.
Would you give them particular foods? And I have to be honest, I'm thinking if Chris and Trisha are there, preferably not something you could throw.
So there's actually an invite pending, right? So the first thing is to get the barbecue stand outside.
Nice.
And fill up the fridge with loads of beer and rum. Make sure it doesn't rain.
I was going to say, you're not going to be doing it in Glasgow then?
Yeah.
We can do it indoors. I've done it before, right? It's okay, as long as you don't cause any fire, okay?
So a nice barbecue with Chris, Adam, Trisha, and yourself. That would be quite powerful.
Yeah, and
I feel that would be quite a late night as well.
I was going to say the beer and the rum I can see going on into the early hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that start. Brilliant. Thank you. But
you're all invited, guys. Yeah.
We're all after tickets for that one.
So, thanks.
next we have Yannick. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, yes, so I'm Yannick Reekmans from Belgium. I run a consulting company around Microsoft 365 and Power Platform, and I do some solution architecting.
Some.
If I get like a tiny bit of time left in the day, and then another tiny bit goes to development, right?
Well, that's the hobby, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
That's
the
the
hobby.
fun bit.
That's why I'm an office development MVP, so I can get to develop a little bit after hours. Yeah.
The part that
Yeah.
keeps you sane.
Yeah,
Running the
yeah,
business, yeah.
So, I know you've been deliberating over this.
Yeah.
Your guests. Where
Well,
do you want to start?
I'm breaking the rules like everybody else is. So I'm
Don't know
bringing.
why we bother making
Yeah,
it.
so it's like a question and bring one. No, I'll bring 3 from Microsoft. So I'll be bringing Scott Hanselman because he's amazing in running communities and sharing all of his knowledge and everything. So I want him there. I want Scott Guthrie there so that we can have a good discussion around Azure and how he does this to get all of the, all of the development SDKs in Azure aligned, because it's a big thing, and for some reason that's aligned, and on the Microsoft 365 side we're not really aligned, so I'd like him to explain how this works. That would be nice. And I'll bring Vesa Juvonen, because he's running community as well, very, very well, around PMP, and it would be nice to get, I think, Scott and Vesa around the table.
I wonder if that's ever happened.
Yeah, that's what I
That would
wonder
be
as well, but I
amazing,
think that those 3 people together around the table would make sense. So I'd love that, and I'd love to be there. And I'll be, for community, inviting Andrew Connell, because there has to be some punch to challenge that. So he will be speaking his mind.
But AC always holds back.
Yeah, he always holds back. So that's the thing, he holds back. So if he's open around the table, it's got to be with fire now. So, and so do I. So that must make a good thing. And then I've got already 4 people, so I'm not bringing some random guest in, because why?
You're keeping in the Microsoft
Yeah, in the
world.
Microsoft world, so we can fight around all things that are not great and changes.
You just want to have the ability to give lots of feedback.
Yeah,
don't you?
feedback.
That's
I
all
want the
this
feedback
is.
round table actually with good food. So that's the thing. Like, drink wine and eat good food, and then just feedback. Yeah.
So you got some wine there. Would you think about any particular food with that lot?
I can't cook, so that's.
I mean, that many developers, surely it's got to be pizza. It's got to
Yeah,
be,
no, like yeah, and if you can't share the pizza, like if you need more than 1 pizza, the group is too big, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
the whole thing. Nah.
Yeah.
No, I'll be hiring a chef or like get food from a decent restaurant, because we've got Scott Guthrie there. He's surely like knows how to like dine out and have good food. So I want to impress and give them good food while I be giving feedback.
I like that.
So at least they've got something good.
Yeah,
while
they've got
we
something
give-
good whilst you're just
like while I'm
ranting.
ranting. So I will just be ordering for 4 people. I will just not eat, and I can keep talking.
I'm thinking not much food, so they can keep talking and can't get out. Oh, sorry.
I think they need to
Or
be
just-
listening, just lots and lots
Yeah,
of
lots
food,
of
just to
food,
keep
so that
listening.
they just listen, right? So that's it.
That's fantastic. I
Sounds
love
great.
that one. That's brilliant. Thank you
Awesome.
very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers. So we have our next guest. Alison, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Alison. My name's Alison Mulligan, for anybody who doesn't know me. I am the CEO of Maximus IT and part of Proximo 3. And I am a business applications MVP, although nobody knows really what for.
That goes for so many of the business apps MVPs, isn't it?
For your community magic, I think is
Stuff.
Yeah.
Just stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff. So what, it's 3 P. It's a Microsoft person, a community person,
And then someone else.
and then
if you
and
fancy
another,
following
A
your
another
rules.
plus food,
Yeah,
plus wine.
fiction could be fictional, alive, dead. The other is.
I mean,
anyway.
the scope is very broad there. I feel like we need to narrow it down.
So the fictional, that's about the people, not about the food.
Ah.
Yeah,
Like
no
fictional
live food.
Well, that's
No
a
live
shame.
food.
I was hoping for like a dodo burger or something like that. Yeah, that'd be, I think like it's a really tough choice, right? Because community-wise, there is a bunch of people I would invite to dinner. Obviously, none of them would actually eat. They would just start drinking immediately, and then the whole thing would be disbanded. So, and I've probably attempted dinner with them on several occasions. But I would probably, I've never actually been out for dinner with Janet Robb, and I love Janet. and she's a massive advocate for all kinds of things from within Microsoft.
For those that don't know, who's Janet?
Janet Robb, that's a great question.
She's just Janet. You just know when she's there.
Everyone just knows. She's like the customer.
She's customer
success.
isn't she?
For,
Yeah.
I don't know.
For
if
Microsoft.
I don't know if it's Northern Ireland or is it like Europe or I don't know. I mean, I feel like she runs the company. If I'm honest. She's the glue that's holding it together. If we're very honest, right? Community-wise, so that was one Microsoft person. Community-wise, that's a tough call. I'm trying to think of who there is in Community that I haven't already watched eat.
That criteria is quite an interesting one to choose. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
I mean,
Sounds quite stalkerish as well.
Oh yeah. I
You
mean,
grade people on how they eat. just the ability to watch
how
them.
and what? It's like it's like a Venn diagram.
Right, okay.
Across how, when, what.
That's
so
very unnerving.
Good.
In the black book.
Then my work here is done. I'll say that. I think community-wise, I would probably like to have. Can I have like one person?
Yeah.
Oh, everybody else is broken.
Everyone-
Just go for it.
I
Yeah.
mean, essentially, it's a very fluid thing at this point. So, I would actually like to have a night out just with all of the women in Community. Just to see what happens. Like, because I feel like it would be much worse than anything Chris or Will have ever done. I mean, it would start off like,
Very
really
tame, very
sophisticated.
beautiful.
We'd have a
very
charcuterie
stylish.
board and a glass of like pink fizzy things, and then.
And then it would just deteriorate from
Yeah,
there.
Laura would have a cone on her head, and someone else would be. Cheryl would be passed out. And, So I think just like an awful. My other person, I think I would have. I was tossing up whether to have someone who's like a Michelin-starred chef or something because obvs.
You can have that as a freebie, providing the
Can
food
I?
if you want. Yeah. so
Okay.
double.
Yeah. Well, so. I can't actually think of a chef whose food I'd like to eat. So let's park that. And let's go back to, I would invite Gary Vaynerchuk because I think he is an absolute legend. And
Gary
also,
Vaynerchuk.
Gary Vaynerchuk, yeah. He runs a company called VaynerMedia, but he started as a wine expert.
Oh,
So,
Okay.
yeah. So
Oh, I
he
like
can
what
bring
you're
on-
thinking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see?
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
So not just lots of wine, but lots of good wine. as
Lots of
well.
great wine,
Yeah.
bunch of women, charcuterie board. I mean, olives, bit of cheese.
That sounds fantastic. I can't believe there hasn't been a kind of women event with lots of people in the community at one place.
Well, there you go.
That
That's-
needs to
yeah.
happen. Yeah. No cameras allowed, but.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. It's invite only, and no cameras. You have to lock your phone away.
You have to hand your phone
Yeah.
in as you enter.
Yeah, one of those like, locker things for your phone. So, oh my god, your shoes are amazing. I've just seen them.
Thank you. They're my Star Wars ones.
Oh, you need to like hold them up.
Yeah, I can't stretch that far.
He's just going to fall backwards if he does
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it's not a good idea.
We should probably get him to do that just to see.
Well, I mean, we're all just going to sit here in silence until you do it now. On that bombshell.
Exactly. Thank you very
Thanks
much,
for
Alison.
listening.
Cheers. So we have our next guest, and what I love about conferences, you get to meet new people.
Absolutely.
And we haven't met, so would you like to introduce yourself?
Definitely. Hi everyone, Chike Edupta. I work currently I'm a senior manager at Capgemini event. And yeah, this is my first ever Scottish Summit, so I'm a newbie.
Fantastic.
How are you finding it?
Yeah, it's absolutely fun. Lots of really inspiring people.
Yeah.
The session I had earlier on in Women in Tech was really amazing.
That was quite special. Yeah, there was Donna up there, Janet. I can't remember who else I saw up there. Carissa, yeah, it was a
exactly.
fantastic event. That
Yeah,
really a lot of people watching that, which is great.
Absolutely.
So, who would you have for your fancy dinner party?
Right.
So, someone from Microsoft.
Okay, Donna, definitely. Have Donna from Microsoft there because I love how her advice is very practical. It's also things that are very clearly spoken, articulate, and things that I can actually, do with my team starting tomorrow. So
Yeah, that's a great idea as well, and I think she inspires as well, makes you think about things differently.
Exactly.
It's always nice to have things that you can do tomorrow, isn't it?
Exactly,
Rather than actually
yeah.
have to put a load of work in to do other stuff. If you can just take something away and go, right, Monday morning, just going to do it.
Exactly.
That's perfect.
Exactly.
But you know me, Al, I always try and make sure things are for tomorrow, not for today, but that's a different story.
Procrastination.
Yeah,
yes.
that's different, isn't it? Okay. Someone from the community then?
So yeah, Chris Huntingford, because I think without him I wouldn't be here today, in a sense that he presented about Power Platform a couple of years back at my previous company, and that's how I found out that communities even were a thing.
Oh, wow.
So definitely.
And I think people talk about this with Chris, you know, everyone always laugh about how loud he is and how much fun, but we often miss the amount of community stuff and the people he brings along through it and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's really nice to kind of call out as well. And your other person then?
Other person, probably have Obama in there as well.
Obama and Huntingford in the same room.
Exactly.
Interesting. That would be interesting to see the conversation going on there. I think one would be listening a lot.
Yes.
And one would be talking a lot.
Which way around would that be?
Oh.
I have this image of Donna and Barack in the corner going, you really going to hang out with this guy? That would be a great one. And what about what sort of foods do you think you'd have for?
Definitely a burger. Yeah, and it's gonna be self-service, make your own burger. So
Nice.
definitely. We get to order the ingredients, cook it on the teppanyaki grill, and then eat it right there as well.
Nice.
I like that idea.
Nice.
Yeah, gets a bit of bonding, bit
Exactly,
of chat going.
exactly.
Although again, having stuff that Chris can throw, that might get a headline with that.
Hot trays. Absolutely. But yes, always. I'm a wine lover as well, so there'll be a sample of various different wines to try as the evening, goes on.
Goes downhill.
Exactly. So hopefully, probably by the end of the night.
So that's the more expensive wines at the start, and the cheaper wines at the end.
Good quality wine, doesn't really correlate with price. So
Well,
exactly.
It's a very good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree on that one. Oh, it was fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. It's great to meet you. And we have our next guest. Ash, would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Ash. I'm an accessibility and disability advocate, and I'm still a student, which confuses people. Yeah.
nothing wrong with being a student.
No, but they're always like, "Oh, who do you work for?" And I'm like, "I don't. No work
And
happening
let's
here."
face it, most people would be quite happy if they didn't have to work for anyone.
That would be quite nice as well. So your fancy dinner party then?
Okay, I have one that breaks all the rules.
Are you just trying to break all of the rules here?
It breaks quite a lot of the rules.
Right, okay.
But what I would love to have, is I would love to have a dinner party full of autistic people around the community, both from Microsoft, kind of anywhere. Mainly because it means I don't have to worry about trying to communicate with people, because you all communicate weird. But also, it's a lot of the time you forget that there's going to be another autistic person in the room, and you're like, when you find out, you're like, yes, welcome to the club. So yeah, I haven't named anybody because I haven't got any names in my head.
No, I love that idea. That would be a great one. So what sort of food and thing would you have?
Well, we're really specific about food. If you ever met an autistic person, the food is either grey and bland, and that's it, or it's like the most extravagant food you've ever met. There's no middle ground for most of us. So you need a lot of safe food. So for a lot of people, it's like chicken nuggets, Pringles, things that do not change. But then I'm very much on the other end, where I'm like, I want extravagant, fancy food. So I'd also want a lot of that.
You need a nice spread of everything possible that people might find comfort.
But also it's that kind of thing of people would want to know what they want beforehand.
Yeah.
So it'd be very much what food do you want? And then you have to work out that.
So you can just choose whatever food you want, let you know in advance, and then you'll make sure that it's there for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
That's a great idea. Would you put on any activities or anything like that?
I mean,
Not to put you on the spot or anything, which is ideal, obviously.
I mean, so like the thing is, when I've been around my autistic friends, we'll all deep dive into special interests, and you go find other people, and you're like, oh, your special interest overlaps with like this much with mine, so we're going to just talk about this like little tiny niche that we're going to go into, and we're going to spend like 4 hours doing it. So you don't like. I find that a lot of time people, you can find the commonalities, but also you need something to get autistic people to talk to each other, or we will just all sit in noise cancelling headphones and eat food and wave and then eat food.
I know. I imagine that the kind of party would be wow, 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 silence, wow, 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 silence, and kind of.
Yeah. Well, no, you end up
between.
with two halves. You end up with people wanting to be loud and an entirely separate room that's quiet. Because you can't have those in the same room.
That's a great idea.
Because otherwise what you're gonna end up with is autistic people having meltdowns in the loud room, and then that'll be how it goes quiet, and no one wants that. You have to have a separate room.
So my wife and I, we had a joint 40th, and we had a festival, and
you had a festival. Wait a second. Sorry, you had a festival.
Yep, it was always our dream to have a festival, so we made it happen. Had about 200 people there, had a few bands going, but we had what do we call it? The Pink Flamingo Palace. So it was out the back, it was quiet, we had lots of craft stuff to do, there was lots of big cushions, and basically anyone who needed some quiet time, and we sort of do have some autistic friends and also a lot of kids there. That was their place, they could go and just step away from it all as well. What was it? It was a pink fluffy flamingo palace, that's right. And
nice.
Yeah, the fluffy didn't go down well with some of the kids, but otherwise it was great. So I like the idea of having a separate room. I think 2 different places as well.
You would also need like mountains of fiddle toys.
Yeah.
That's the other really important part.
Just another whole array of just whatever people like to.
I mean, there's a lot. You get like tangles and then the poppets, fidget tubes,
and all the different bits like that. No, I think that sounds like a lot of fun actually. I don't want to go on to that. Lovely. Well, thank you very much, Ash, for joining us.
Thank you.
And our next guest, Zoe, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Zoe Wilson. I am currently an unemployed bum, chief cat wrangler in Newark, and will continue to be so for the next month, which is fantastic.
Excellent. And so, was this your idea, I think, about a fancy dinner party? I can't remember who started it last night, so it kind of evolved from there, but you've had plenty of time to think about it.
Yeah, so you might say that, but I was just like thinking on the way up, because I think the choices that I chose last night were probably quite obvious, and I didn't want to be obvious.
So go on then, you're a person from Microsoft.
So I'm actually picking 2 people from Microsoft.
Breaking
so
the
I'm
rules
going.
again.
Stay within the rules.
Yeah, so I'm going for Janet Robb and Donna Sarko.
Lovely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great choices there. And your community.
Alison Mulligan.
Excellent. Yes. And your other person.
Sheryl Sandberg.
Oh.
So I think that would be quite an epic, empowering, and also fun. I think.
And Cheryl's no longer with Facebook, so Meta. So she's allowed to talk to the Microsoft.
Well, and I'm sure she'll have some interesting gossip to share as well.
Yeah, and you could recruit her into Microsoft as well. There's an idea. Good.
Interesting. Yeah.
And what would you have? Would you?
So I'm not a formal person. It wouldn't be, like a 3-course dinner or anything like that. It would probably be outside with a barbecue, lots of epic, probably a bit of grilling, so some nice burgers.
Everyone joining in.
Loads, all informal, helping yourself.
Yeah.
Do we get Donna to do the mimosa bar again? That would be great.
For those who don't know, the Scottish Summit, she's had a mimosa bar down in the lobby, so people can join in.
Yeah, although we'd actually have proper mimosas and not with iron brew, I think.
But the sugar would keep you all talking, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I think with that group, you probably need to slow it down and not speed up the talking. But
and then there'd be a little bit of a kitchen party as well. So when it was my 40th last year, one of my friends, he DJs, and he actually brought down his decks, and he had big speakers on the stands. So we were kind of kitchen moving till about 2 a.m. I think. So I think that would also add to the fun.
I think that would be fantastic.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
DJ, good food.
Yeah.
And a bit of music. Lovely. Thank you, Zoe.
Brilliant. Thank you.
And next up, we have Sarah. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name's Sara Fennah. I'm a Microsoft Certified Trainer specialising in Microsoft 365. I'm also Office Apps and Services MVP.
Very exciting.
Very.
Let's get straight in. Who's going to be your Microsoft guest?
I'm going to go with Donna Sarkar.
Very nice.
Good choice.
More style, more swagger. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Swagger, I
swagger,
think
I
I'd say.
think.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I've met Donna and she's always a very interesting person to talk to. So I think that would make for quite interesting dinner conversation.
Excellent. And your community person?
Oh, now that one's a little bit harder because there's so many good people to choose from.
We should say that almost everyone else has been breaking the rules, so we'll give you a bit of free rein to twist it now if you want.
Well, I'm actually going to drag somebody kicking and screaming back into the community. I'm going to drag Ed Baker back in because I credit Ed with getting me into the community. So I'm going to bring him out of retirement.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
It's funny, isn't it? You forget that the people are there, that sort of drift off slightly. You kind of forget, and someone goes, yes, I haven't seen them for a while. That's a good point. No, that's a great idea. And we'll talk about everyone together, but for last but by no means least, your other person.
Oh, somebody else, anybody else. Actually, I'm going to bring my son.
Oh, that's an interesting one. Okay.
Because I think he would enjoy talking to these other people, and I might get to be a proud mum and kind of show him off a little bit.
Fantastic. That's one of the best reasons I've heard.
Oh, that is lovely. That's a really nice idea on there.
Not bad for making it up on the spot.
Absolutely.
And I think, we've been talking about Donna a bit and how inspirational she is, and I think she's certainly inspired others, so I can see that. And
yeah, and also we've got a nice mix there between the three, between the ages, the level of career that you've got to, the stage in your career that you're at. It might make quite a varied discussion.
Interesting discussions, based on different experiences and perspectives.
And of course,
Absolutely.
you two are welcome to join as well.
Oh, thank you. You're the only person who I think has said that. So.
Oh, well, there you go then. Now I've got the best dinner party.
Someone on the way out did say, are you coming to all of them?
Yeah.
And we said, no, we're going to peer in through the window, which scared them slightly. But no, I think actually turning up is probably a nicer idea.
So what sort of food would you serve to?
That's a good point. We better check that before we say we're going.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've got to do the boring stuff and check about allergies and so on and so forth. But for me, if I'm picking probably a Chinese takeaway, because then I don't have to cook. I can enjoy the dinner party as much as everyone else.
Yeah. I think that's. I don't think we've had many people who've said they're actually going to cook. I think we're all quite happy just to order in or get somebody else to cook it for us.
On an app, of course, because we're in
And what would be your one dish that you had to have?
Oh, my favourite is chicken cashew nut.
Ooh, I do like a bit of chicken cashew nuts as well. Yeah, okay. But as you say, checking for allergies.
That might have to go out the window depending on the allergy status of the guests. So yeah.
Well, cool. Thank you very much, Sarah, for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we thought we were going to wrap up there, but apparently the audience have decided that we need to do ours as well, which means we have to think about it.
And considering we've had, rather longer than everybody else to think about it, we haven't thought of anything yet. You know, it's a bit weird to be on the spot.
Yeah.
So I think.
Are you ready to go?
Well, I think my Microsoft person, I think would actually be Jeff Teeper, because from a modern work perspective, he's been so influential on my whole tech career. It'd be really interesting to understand what his thought processes have been over many, many years with SharePoint and developing the whole thing, because it's changed so much over the time.
That would be a good one, actually.
So, community, so I'd say Pete Rising, because he's somebody that I've done a lot of work with online, running user groups, and I've yet to actually meet him. So it would be to actually meet him and be in person with him. I think he'd probably quite like speaking to Jeff as well.
Yes, I agree on that one. That would be interesting. And your other person then?
So my other person, that's the much harder one. And I'm influenced now from all the other people who have said things, but I actually thought Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Which one?
And there's the challenge. You see, you'd probably have to have several different versions there because they're all slightly different iterations, aren't they?
Yes.
But I think there would be a lot of wisdom and a lot of sense spoken, which potentially, unlike some of the other dinner parties that we've been hearing out, where there might be less sense going on, that would be quite an interesting conversation.
And you've got Pete, who kind of looks like he could be a Jedi
I
as well.
think
so
Pete
that
is definitely
works.
a Jedi in disguise.
Yeah.
And the disguise is starting to disappear now. It's just coming out as full Jedi.
And then would you have anything else? Any food?
So I think for food, I would just throw it open to anything that's on delivery. And just order whatever you want, And
the Zoe menu, okay.
Yeah, and we'll bring it in. I honestly don't know what Obi-Wan would want to eat. You don't see people eating very much. You see them drinking strange drinks in bars in Star Wars. You don't actually see them actually eating anything. I don't think they actually have food.
They had that weird inflatable food from Force Awakens, wasn't it? I think that's the only one I remember seeing.
And they had So I think just leaving it open and just saying, well, whatever we want, we can order it in.
Okay. That means it's my turn now.
That does mean it's your turn.
So I was going to go Jeff Teeper, so I've changed this last minute on there, not to be too obvious. So, and because no one else has said it, and I kind of thought I wasn't going to do this because no one else, I'd love to have Satya Nadella there. I just think his story of going through his book's fantastic on there, the way he's come through and changed Microsoft. I'd love to hear that story of how he's changed it, and because it feels like he's just magically made it happen, but there must have been a lot of effort and stuff going on there.
No, I think he has a magic wand somewhere. Done.
But the other thing I'd love to ask about is what's got in the background, he always has some cricket stuff. So I'd love to ask him about cricket, which then leads me neatly onto the community member, is I'd get Chirag Patel on there as well, and the three of us could chat cricket nicely on there, talk about the IPL and all the different bits on there. But I'm a bit worried that it will kind of get a little bit quiet at times, so we do need to kind of keep it going, have a bit of entertainment. So the other person that I bring along will be Freddie Flintoff. Because then you can talk cricket, you can talk cars, you can talk drinking and pedalos. You've got, I don't know how much Satya Nadella talks about drinking pedalos, but
it'd be interesting to
find
find
out. Exactly. And I think the only meal you could have with that would be a fantastic curry, a nice authentic Indian curry from there with lots of different meals you can all dip in and dip out of along the way. So I think that would be my fancy dinner party as well.
And then everybody could walk away with a cricket bat and a cricket bowl as
and we'd have a quick game in the garden, and I realise I'm rubbish at cricket, and Freddie Flintoff flying at me with these hurling balls at my head, which wouldn't be quite so good.
Sounds good.
That would be my one. I want to wrap up and say a big thank you, I think, to all of you here and all the people who've helped do that. I'll be honest, I do hope this recording works and we can actually hear it okay and get it out there, but we'll find out soon on that. Otherwise, it's goodbye from the Scottish Summit.
Indeed. Goodbye.